talk to me a little bit about why you decided to run for House of Delegates.
Oh my, I'm quite the reluctant candidate. I'm one of those people that I like quiet, obey yourself, obey the laws, take care of business. And the folks that really want to run for office, they'll do a good job. I've come to the point over the last couple of years, I feel like being the average guy, I'm the target, and I'm kind of concerned about that. As time's going by, I've got daughters that teach school. Man, what they deal with in school is incredible. I've got a son that just got out of military after 11 years. Things the military people deal with, almost everyone in the military, not that that's my pay grade here with the House of Delegates, but almost all the people in the military qualify for food stamps. There's something fundamentally wrong with this. In our area here, obviously, we're dealing with a war on coal. Again, it started a national government, but I see no pushback from local politicians. I see no pushback from West Virginia House of Delegates, from the Senate there. I see no pushback from our representatives to D.C. At the same time, I'm reading in the newspaper about a guy that's arrested for the second time since this year, for having a meth lab. How's this work? How's this guy get convicted in May and he's out on the street to get rearrested in late October? There are things that I don't get. Our country, or our state, excuse me, has been too long at the bottom of all the lists you want to be at the top of, and too long at the top of the list you don't want to be at the top of. And I keep hearing rhetoric and more rhetoric, and every problem our state has is a ball of twine that's all mixed together. You can't pick one issue. The war on coal. Why are we going after a legitimate industry and not going after truly a war on drug dealers and drug producers? Common Core, absolutely a disgrace, absolutely wrong. We're turning out a group of kids, high school level, an appalling number of them are functionally illiterate at math, functionally illiterate in communication, spelling, reading, writing, understanding what they read. If we want businesses to come to this area, they'll come where people are trained well. That's not good training for a business. Coal mines, my relative of mine was in a business of hiring for coal mines. They would interview well over 100 people to find one that wasn't drug dependent of some sort, that tested positive for drugs. Businesses are not coming here if that's the case. Now, we can talk rhetoric all we want. We can give away property and we can give 100-year mortgages. That's not the answer. So I'm quite the reluctant candidate. I'm old enough to remember when John Kennedy said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country." Maybe more people need to do more for their country and ask less what they can get.
Now, so you say you're the average guy that was reluctant about running. So is this your first run in politics?
This is the first one. Yeah, this first run. My grandfather was in the House of Delegates in 1932-33, but as was John Kennedy's party, he was a Democrat. The Democratic Party has moved dramatically to the left, and the Republican Party has moved dramatically to the left too. I'm not happy I'm running as a Republican, and quite frankly, I'm not real happy with the Republican Party either. I'm not a rich guy. I can't compete with billboards. What I do is I walk the town and knock on doors and talk to people, and it's amazing how many people are just frustrated to the point where they don't want to participate anymore. The number of people that, even though they're furious, the number of people that have loved ones that are dealing with drugs or being out of work, loved ones that they felt they had to move away in order to get a good job, but they're so frustrated that same old, here we go again, another election. I don't know what we do about that, but I feel like it's sort of time to try.
So you'd basically like to see change.
Oh my, yeah. And the answer isn't a single issue. this has been a 100+ year issue. This has been a 100+ year problem. It's all wound together. Every issue, business attraction, is tied to all sorts of things, not just giving land or giving free leases or building buildings for people. You have to have people that can count, people can add, people that can write and compose and read letters. There's a lot that's involved, and this won't be a quick turnaround. Even if we touch the House of Delegates and the Senate in Washington, we touch the House of Delegates in Charleston with a magic wand and change everyone's opinion so they go, whoa, wait, let's start living by the amendments in the Constitution. Let's start being intelligent fiscally. Let's start reining in what we need to do. Let's start doing it right. It's going to take a little while to undo what's been done. We have too many people that are comfortable not working. I'm not sure what you do about that short term, but we've got to start changing it. We've got to start changing the direction a little bit.
And I guess since this is your first run, talk to me a little about where you're from, who you are. Just describe yourself to people.
I graduated in John Marshall in 1973, West Virginia University in 77. Wife and I moved to Lexington, take a job there, and then that company moved me to Florida, actually, Mulberry, Florida. Was operations manager there in a manufacturing plant. Family circumstances actually brought us back in 1990, and parents were getting older, and thought the kids are too far away from their grandparents, and we came back, and things have been great for us. And again, I hear people all the time talk about, oh, I can't get a job. Maybe you ought to try work. Maybe you ought to try to come to work. Maybe you ought to try to get a good job. My guess is you wouldn't have a job if you didn't get up and get out of bed and go to work in the morning. And that's sort of the deal, as far as I'm concerned, with so many people that won't work. But we're local. We live a couple of blocks from John Grzinskis, a couple of blocks from Jeff Kessler, right across the street from Mike Maroney. So, yeah, we're here.
And I guess the last question I would have is, when people go on Tuesday, or if they're early voting or whatnot, why should they hit Del Kelley?
Not same old, same old. It amazes me, and this isn't the state here, of course, but all of a sudden we've got yet another Clinton running for the White House. We had 2 Bushes, had a third one run this go around. If you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got. Let's try something different. Everyone's heard themselves or someone close to them say, what we need is the average guy to run for president, to run for House of Delegates. Let's try the average guy. Let's try the guy that has to work for a living. Let's try the guy that doesn't have tons and tons of money to put up billboards. Let's hire the average guy.